So here's how we made $43,000 in over 7 days with a whole new info product. So yeah, as proof here, we were charging as for a price point of around $3,000. You can see this is the cash we collect, or the revenue we collected on WAP, and then we also took some payments on Stripe as well. And yeah, we did this for a client we recently just partnered with. I unfortunately can't disclose, him just due to privacy reasons, but I'll be able to, fully share you guys the whole sauce, give you guys all the sauce that I did to, generate these kind of numbers. And yeah, don't worry, I'm not gonna try to sell you guys nothing. I'm just here to give you guys value because, I love value, so I'm sure you guys do as well. Alright y'all, so I use a 4 steps kind of system to generate these kind of numbers. And yeah, first what I did what I like to call a low ticket upsell. And then after we upsold to all his low ticket, we then went to his audience that he had. So, such as Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff, converted all his audience, and then took them into our sales process that allows us to convert all that traffic, all those eyeballs into actual paying cash. Alright, let's get right into it now, shall we? So the first thing what I did was a low ticket upsell, and I'm sure you guys have seen my videos. If you guys seen my videos in the past, or just seen other people that done this kind of similar things, what they usually do is what I like to call market research, which is, they speak directly to the creator's audience and find out exactly what their pain points are, the goals, and craft up an offer that, really resonates with the audience and makes them, want to buy. And yeah, 9 out of 10 times I would agree with this, and I've done this before, and I agree you should do this, but because 2 reasons why I didn't do market research initially, and that's because 1, I've worked with traders in the past before, so I kind of already know what kind of offers work and what offers don't work, and I already know exactly what their pain points are usually and their goals. And yeah, for traders specifically, usually the pain points they have is that, they emotionally trade, like the psychology side of trading. They struggle with that a lot, so I kind of already know that, that's their main problem. And secondly, my creator has never sold like a coaching one-on-one access, like mentorship before, so I just knew selling a one-on-one access to him would be enough for people to want to buy. So yeah, and so even before announcing the launch of his new offer to our audience, we first just gave early access to his low ticket signals group. He had about like 50 members in there, and we framed it as giving them early access, like, like they can be like the founding members to this inner circle program we have releasing. And yeah, we're easily able to upsold over 6 people from the low tick onto his high tick offer and generate like $18,000 just like that. And yeah, the reason we were able to do that, we can show this chart says clothing brand, but really it works for any niche, drop shipping, Amazon FBA, really any niche works with this. But let's say, because we're talking about trading, we'll just talk about trading. That's because, let's say you're a trader, right? The trader makes their first 5K in the low ticket price point, and now that they're like that 5K mark, they know how to make $5,000 within the low ticket. They have a new problem, which is that the low ticket doesn't provide them enough to get them to 10K. Let's say 10K, right? So they have new problems with scaling up the trading. So we released the offer. The prospect sees a high ticket offer that now has promised to solve their new problems that they face. And yeah, because the prospect already feels drawn to this, as it's it's just a natural upsell that solves their problem, right? They know already that the low ticket offer already provides value, and so it'd be easy upsell to get them to that next price point, which is like a no-brainer purchase for them. And yeah, that's how we're able to easily close like 6 new offers just like that before officially launching it. And yeah, this is like a quick message I had with one of my closers. You just tell it was like really easy calls or chill, just because they already are in the low ticket, they already have value and all that. So after we finished upselling to his low ticket, got all those sales, next what I did was we did a full complete launch to his whole audience, basically every traffic source he had, which was YouTube, Discord, and Instagram. And yeah, first I want to talk about YouTube. I have a crown right here because if you're not on YouTube, what are you doing? Literally, YouTube is the best platform to generate buyers. And one unique selling point that my creator had was that he literally streamed every day. He had over 100+ win streak on his streams, so basically over 100 wins on live, like live trade wins that he was getting. So he had a lot of trust and social proof like that built up. Like, who is out here streaming live every day, showing that they're constantly winning? There's a lot of fake gurus, especially in like the trading niche, that lie and fake the results and stuff. So people seeing this really had a lot of conviction onto my creator. And not only is he winning, the audience is also winning alongside him. They're also taking like the same trades with him, so he's making them money. Like, I had countless people in the DMs that were telling him, thanking him, like, yo, I've been winning so much with you. I made like X amount this week. And I was like, wow, this guy's goated. So this creator had over 26,000 subscribers. However, he actually doesn't post any long form kind of YouTube videos at all. What he does is just live streams every day from Monday to Friday. And I think there's about over 500 people that tune into his streams, trading alongside him. And basically what I had him do to drive all that traffic is like towards at the end of his stream, I would have him announce to the viewers that like, he's opened up his inner circle kind of mentorship to them, letting them know and that they're interested to click on the link in the description to apply below. And yeah, I had him announce it towards like the end of the stream because the people watching all the way to the end are going to be the buyers that are likely to buy because they watch the whole thing. His streams are usually like 2-3 hours, and yeah, so yeah, those people that stuck all the way to the end are most likely the most interested people that would want to buy the high ticket program. Next, so our next traffic source he had a lot of his audience in was in Discord. In his Discord, he had about over 1,000+ members in there. So really simple. In his Discord, I kind of dropped a message like this, letting them know that, hey, I framed it as early access still, but this is what it looks like. Some decent copy. I'm not a copyright or anything. So yeah, it's probably not the best copy, but it worked. And lastly, what really mattered is I let them know there's only like 10 spots to build up that urgency, scarcity, and get people to take action. And yeah, so yeah, from Discord we also got a lot of booked calls. And then lastly, he had an Instagram as well. He only had about like 6,500 followers on the Instagram. And what I did for him to announce that was like he did kind of like a talking head video on his story, just talking about the mentorship program, and the people who are interested, they would DM a keyword to him. So the DMs, what I would do is kind of just find out what their goals are, the problems they had, and then ask him what they're currently doing to see if they're qualified, they have enough money. And yeah, once I see that they're qualified, I would then send them a booking link. And yeah, I can kind of show you guys what one of the conversations look like. So for example, the first message I'd be like, hey, saw you're interested in the mentorship program, mind if I ask a few questions, see you'd be a good fit. They'll say something like, yeah, sure, whatever. And the first question I ask where they're from. Usually I kind of see this to see if they're from like a first world country, like America, Canada, UK, and stuff like that. Because if they're from like other third world countries like India, Africa, stuff like that, I usually they're just not qualified because they don't have enough money. So yeah. And then once I see where they're from, I'll ask them like, hey, what are you currently doing right now for trading? Ask them like, hey, what are you currently doing right now? Are you like working a job or just trading? And then yeah, they usually say something along the lines like, yeah, I'm doing this while also trading, whatever their profession is. And then after that, I just follow up with finding out what their goals are, their pain points they currently have. And once I see they're qualified, I'll send them over like the link to book a call, and then usually they apply. And yeah, you guys want the full DM script that I use to convert a lot of inbound leads into actual booked appointments, just DM me on Instagram. I'll send it over to you guys. So now that we have all that traffic, we have a handful, tons of people that are interested in the program. Next thing what we want to do is convert all that traffic. And yeah, the first thing what we want to do is make sure that these people are qualified. So what I do is I send them first to a type form that allows me to find out, questions like these, such as their name, what's their experience like with trading. I can ask, currently how old they are, what are they currently doing for work to see if they're qualified, their email. I have this question like, if you're accepted to Inner Circle, are you ready to get started ASAP, just to see if they want to start now or later on. Another question is just how much are they willing to invest, and then lastly their phone number and Instagram. And yeah, asking all these questions allows me get all their contact info. So let's say some people they would fill out the form but not end up booking a call, but because I asked what their email or their phone number is, I'm able to use that to follow up later on to get to book a call. And then yeah, I would ask the question like, hey, how much are you willing to invest, or what are they currently doing for work, just to see if they're qualified. Let's say I had an option, it was like if they can only have 0 to under 1,000 ready to invest, then I automatically unqualify them and they're not really able to book a call. But if they choose any other option, which is like they have over $1,000 ready to invest, then we allow them to book a call with us. One thing I didn't do during this launch that I do want to do in the future just to maximize revenue is, let's say, I was talking about if someone's like unqualified, instead of doing nothing and burning the lead, which is basically what I did when someone was unqualified, what I'll do is create kind of like a downsell funnel to, downsell them onto like a mid-ticket offer, such as, giving them lifetime access. They can buy lifetime access to the low-ticket products, so we can price that like around $497. And then yeah, they get downsold and they pay for that. We continue nurturing them so that eventually later on they will convert onto the high ticket program later. So yeah, definitely not doing that. You should definitely do that. I need to do that as well. But yeah, once let's say they fill out the whole form, and they're qualified, they're then get redirected to be able to book a call through Calendly. So yeah, this is what the Calendly page look like. These are basically the questions I asked. I first just asked what their name, email is, or they prefer to get contact through, whether that's WhatsApp or Instagram. Double check to make sure ask them what their monthly income is, because some people could lie on the previous Typeform page about their income, so this kind of just double checks it. And then lastly, letting them know that we have like a really strict no-show policy, and this just helps reduce no-show rates. So now that they booked the call, I should now show you exactly my whole entire sales process that converts them from, booking the call, and all the steps I take from once they book that call to, becoming a closed deal when they hop on the call with my closers. So what I do is immediately after they book a call, I have some automated text and email reminders to, make sure they show up to these calls. And yeah, this is what it looks like right here. It's all done on Calendly, and I have it basically immediately after when they book a call, they'll get a notification. They'll get one 24 hours before the event starts, 12 hours before the event starts, 3 hours before the event starts, and lastly 30 minutes before the event starts. And yeah, that's the kind of automations I have, and it makes sure that they shows up to the calls. So yeah, I'm blasting them. I'm going like bam, bam, making sure they show up to these calls. So what I do next is, I also contact them out on WhatsApp. So yeah, I do follow-up messages like this that looks like right here, letting them know to confirm their spot for the inner circle program, letting them know what time it starts, and all that good stuff. And yeah, so if they respond, we know that they'll show up to the call. If they haven't responded to this message, I usually continue following up with them to make sure they show up to the call. And then also 1 hour before the actual call happens, I'll reach out to them, follow up further again on WhatsApp to make sure they show up. If not, I'll dial them, like triple dial them to make sure they show up to the call. And yeah, by implementing all these stuff, it allowed us to have a no-show rate of only 10%. So that basically means that we had over 90% of these people show up to the calls, and only 10% of them that didn't show up to the call, which is pretty good, I'd say. But in the future, what I would do to even increase show-up rates in the more and make sure that these calls are qualified, what I would do is add a dialer into the offer. And basically what a dialer will do is immediately right after they book a call, the dialer will call them up within like 5 to 10 minutes after they book a call to talk to them, further qualify them, make sure they're qualified, and make sure they show up to the call as well. And yeah, lastly, the sale calls happen. I had closers that would hop on these calls with the prospect. Our price point, we were charging for $3,000. Pay that in full, or we had a different payment option, which is kind of weird. Excuse me. Which was they would pay to. And yeah, lastly, all right, and lastly, the sales call would happen. I had closers that would hop on these calls and talk with these prospects. And yeah, our price point was $3,000 paid in full, and we had kind of like a weird payment option, which was they could pay $2,000 up front and then $1,000 a month later. And yeah, these was the KPIs. We had a total of like 29 live total calls. 26 of them, showed up. Only 3 didn't show up to these calls. 15 yeses, 14 no's. So basically a closing rate of about 57%. And I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning of the launch, we were doing really good. I think we had like a 70-80% closing rate. So I was like, yo, this is about to go crazy. But towards like halfway after the launch and towards the end, our closing rate was going pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, we're getting like no's back, left, and right. So definitely something I want to optimize for the future. And yeah, how I would optimize that, not only increase show up rates and closing rate in the future, is that I would send them assets such as like case study videos before their call happens, and this will allow the prospect to know exactly what they're getting themselves into, and then give them more conviction, actually join and get closed. Right now, since the offer is really new, we have no case studies yet, so definitely in the future, once I implement this, not only will we have increased show up rates, but the closing rate, I believe, will also increase as well. So yeah, after we finished all those sales calls, these are kind of the numbers we ended up with. So it was basically like over $40,000 that we cash collected. And yeah, so yeah, that's the entire system, and basically the 4-step process that I used that allows us to generate over $43,000 in just 7 days with that info product. And that's all the sauce I had for you guys today. Hopefully it gave you guys some value. And yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to sell y'all nothing. So yeah, that's it. If you got any questions, just DM me below and I'll try to help you guys out. Peace.